to the Bristol Dirt race review.
Yeah.
Racing was decent. I started off at 10 for like the rating, but it eventually dropped. So
I mean, I started off at I want to say 7.5. I mean, it was playing out as your usual kind of dirt race for like the first portion of the race. The guys that were good on dirt tracks, Christopher Bell, Chase Briscoe, Kyle Larson were all up front, and I was like, all right, it's playing out like a typical dirt race. But as the racing got more intense and more exciting in stage 2, my rating definitely went up for sure.
My rating was up higher at the beginning because less of the mud was sticking to the screen of the grill.
And that didn't cause overheating issues for really any driver, really.
Yeah. So, but Bowman was doing good. He was staying like within around the top 10, but
for a vast majority of the race, really.
Late, the last restart, he got screwed over with Blaney spinning in front of him, and 2, somehow getting a flat tire, and Fox just clearly did not catch on to that. Bowman was up in the wall at the end. That what mainly caused my rating to drop. But to be fair, the move of the race
Michael McDowell
and
spinning out
for
twice.
the season, 360ing it.
360ing it twice and kept it going both times. So I did not expect that out of Michael McDowell.
The first one, they fucking NASCAR threw a damn caution up. We're like, what the hell?
And he was able to keep it going pretty much right away.
Yeah, if it was NASCAR Heat 5, a player 360s and goes, you don't throw a caution out.
Even with, strict yellows on.
Yeah, I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what killed my rating for Bristol Dirt a little bit. NASCAR not really deciding what would be a caution, what wouldn't be a caution.
Yeah.
Just because there were so many cautions in the beginning of the race.
The second 360 by McDowell, they just left it green.
Yeah. So I think that definitely hurt my rating a little bit. I think my rating of the Bristol Dirt race was 8.5 to a 9. The racing was good. NASCAR again not really deciding what instant should be a caution and what instant shouldn't be a caution. I think that hurt the rating a little bit. Kyle Larson getting screwed over by Ryan Preece.
First Larson spun out on his own, then later on Larson's car was already broke and Preece decided,
let's dump him.
You put me in the wall, I'm putting you right back. I'm like,
it's like Larson didn't even. I don't think Larson had cleared Preece all the way, so I can somewhat understand why Preece would be mad, but at the same time, you don't have to go intentionally wrecking him. It's just a racing instinct. You're trying to pull off a slide job, or you're trying to get clear, and you have a bunch of people that are racing very hard in the back.
Plus, half the time it's the spotter's mistake, because the spotter's was somewhat still having trouble seeing because
of all the dust that's being kicked up from all the dirt and everything. They still have to deal with a bunch of dust being kicked up, and it makes it hard to see. So that's why I can never get mad at a spotter, just because their job's are already hard enough as it is, and not only Bristol Dirt, but really anywhere else, because they're positioned so far away from the cars.
Yeah, but it also, if you had a short track, like a half mile, you could see the entire field. But when it's a dirt race and dust is up in the air, your visibility is so low.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell if your driver's clear or not. So, but yeah, my rating for the Bristol Dirt is 6 to 6.5. Just because of one, with the difficulty for spotters to see, it being one of the reasons. 2, fog's not covering what drivers are on the wall, because they say that someone's up on the wall, but they just did not bother saying anything about bombing up in the wall. They were too locked in on the 3-car battle for win.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, if you're gonna do that, I get it. But if you see someone up in the wall from, like, just after the restart of the last run, why can you not cover that and just take a slight break from the battle for the lead and just focus on what is happening to someone further back in the field?
And I think that's another thing that hurt my rating too. I didn't like the fact that that the race ended under caution with like a corner to go on the last lap. It looked like Tyler Reddick was definitely closing in on Christopher Bell. It looked like he kind of had the faster car than Christopher Bell there at the end of the run. And I hate the fact that a caution pretty much screwed him, even though I'm not like a big Tyler Reddick fan.
Reddick did have a run, but it just does not help that Bell was running the high line the rest of the race.
Yeah, and we saw Christopher Bell pretty much lead all 100 laps in that race. Well, in the final stage anyway. Yeah. So Christopher Bell won the race, as we all know. And his first win of the season, his 5th career win. And Christopher Bell, as of late, is starting to become the next best driver out of the Joe Gibbs stable since Kyle Busch left JGR. So.
Yeah, I do not want to get in that debate on who the best driver is for Joe Gibbs Racing.
Yeah, I mean, Christopher Bell definitely has emerged as one of the best drivers.
I say it is.
He made the championship
Hamlin's like falling off
last year. Hamlin's falling off. Plus, he's having sponsorship issues.
Plus,
Truex is old.
Still with Chastain.
Yeah, Truex is getting old now. So's Denny. Denny's also starting to get old too. And then Ty Gibbs is still a rookie. So. We can't really say anything about Ty Gibbs unless he starts winning a bunch of races his rookie year, like he did in Xfinity Series. So
now we're gonna go straight into the preview for Martinsville. Another half-mile track, oldest track on the NASCAR circuit, paperclip shaped. It's the sponsor is Noco 400. Bowman's old sponsor that is somewhat tied in with Rick Hendrick's dealership. It is 400 laps instead of 500 laps. Traditionally, Bristol Martinsville is 500 laps, but fans were complaining about having 500 lap races and 500 miles on short tracks.
So NASCAR decided to shorten the race to
by
400 miles
100.
and 400 laps. So.
Well, 210
Oh,
miles.
210 miles.
They just-
That's 500 kilometers. Well, 400 kilometers now, but.
Yeah, but they just took off 100 laps. For the spring Martinsville race. Well, with Bristol, when they announced that Bristol was doing dirt, they had to subtract laps from that one. So, practice and qualifying is on April 15th, with practice at 4:35, then qualifying at 5:20, and race day at 3 on April 16th. Half mile paperclip mixed with asphalt, majority of the track, concrete in the low grooves of the corners. Betting odds, Ryan Byron is clearly the favorite
He
at
won the
plus
spring
600
race there last year.
with lack of passing. Kyle Lawson is at plus 650. Bell is also plus 650. Hamlin plus 750. Truex plus 850. Logano plus 850. Blaney plus 1100. Kyle Busch plus 1400. Chastain plus 1600. With Bowman and Harvick both at plus 2000. And those are just the favorites. So yeah, and my picks for Martinsville will be William Byron, with him being the defending spring winner due to lack of passing from last year. Alex Bowman, because he did win the 2021 playoff race, which caused Hamlin to be a complete dickhead and idiot, because Bowman basically had his seatbelts off and Bowman was preparing to do his burnout. And honorary, I would put Josh Berry as an honorary and as a dark horse. So those are my picks for Martinsville. But I'm not gonna leave Truex out really on any of the short tracks. It's just he just hasn't been performing like we saw him in 2017.
Right. Even 2018, even 2019.
Yeah.
So, I think for my Martinsville picks, I'm going to go pretty similar to Jeremiah's picks. I'm going to have William Byron. He's the defending spring race winner in Martinsville. He's been good all year. I'm going to have Josh Berry as a pick. He's been really good at the short tracks, filling in for Chase Elliott. And that 9 car was also really, really good at Martinsville last spring, right? He won the first 2 stages with Chase Elliott behind the wheel. And I think with a third pick, I'm going to go Martin Truex as well.
Plus, I think Josh Berry won the Martinsville race in Xfinity.
Yeah, so,
So
I
that's
think
another
so,
reason.
yeah.
Plus, he was more of a short track specialist through juniors' late model careers.
Yeah, I mean, I do like Martin Truex. I've seen him run well at the short tracks this year. Even though he hasn't won there. I mean, he did win the Clash this year, but Martin Truex has shown up on the short tracks. He just hasn't shown up like he did 3-4 years ago. And I think If we had a fourth pick, I'll probably put Kyle Busch in there. Kyle Busch has always ran well in Martinsville. He's always contending for wins at Martinsville. So
with penalties, Hendrick is not going to appeal the greenhouse penalty that they were charged. It was basically for location of the motor to the windshield wiper. That is a mandatory modification for if the NASCAR is going to attempt racing in somewhat wet conditions. So that was the penalty for Bowman and Bryan for after the Richmond race. They're not appealing that.
I think that's a smart decision.
But I really think that they should have appealed the suspension of the interim crew chiefs, because Bristol was the last race.
Bristol was the last race that the interim crew chiefs are supposed to serve from the previous Hendrick Motorsports penalty.
But all 4 Hendrick drivers are getting the main crew chiefs back for Martinsville, so that's good. But yeah, Barry is gonna try to get be one position better at Martinsville from Richmond. Really didn't want to throw Josh Berry into our picks for Bristol because it's the dirt layout. He doesn't really know dirt very that much. So, but with the main crew chiefs back, maybe some of these guys can get back on the strong runs. Mainly Bowman trying to keep the consistency going. Bristol was the only inconsistent race he won, because flat tire screwed him at the end of that race. So, just an update with the second penalty and what's happening for Martinsville, along with Hendrick crew chiefs coming back. Chase Elliott. Right now, we do not know if Hendrick made an announcement or Chase on what race he will be coming back for. What all Hendrick fans are anticipating it will be Talladega. So we just have to wait and see what Chase says, or if he does announce that he is coming back for Talladega, or just gonna wait the next week, which would be Dover. But I want to say Talladega because he's not using much of his left leg, except for going down pit road for potential green flag pit stops or a scheduled pit stop under caution. So that's it for
Bristol Dirt review and a Martinsville preview.
And we'll see you
after the Martinsville race.
Sunday after Martinsville. So see you guys Sunday post Martinsville.